Welcome to Cryptid Technical. Please enjoy your stay. It's probably permanent. As you navigate the halls of our home, our technicians will provide you guidance. Stay out of all the Wendigo's bedroom and don't accept directions from Granny. And all these snacks are off limits. Enjoy.
And we're back. This is Cryptid Technical.
Welcome back.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody.
There's another cousin in town?
You sound like Bulby.
Is that
Going for Dr. Nick.
Svenja?
Oh, Jesus. Spinja.
Yeah.
Svenja.
Oh, shit. I'm your beardless boy wonders, CJ.
Oh, and this is Andrew, the guy.
I don't have my notes ready.
With a beard. Don't worry, I don't have notes either. It was a very organized
Oh,
show.
no, I have notes. I just don't have them ready.
Okay, well,
And then this guy over here is Ninja.
This stealthy man in the corner.
yeah.
Ninja Chris.
How'd you see him?
I make noise from once in a while so people know I'm there.
Yeah.
So we're about to do something that everybody hates. A little housekeeping in the beginning. We finally have a winner for our giveaway contest.
Yes, drum roll.
Queen Jess!
Yes.
We're going to hit you up about shipping details. You win the book. You left us a review.
Yeah, very nice review. And these names were pulled out of a hat. We have left it open for a fairly long time.
We had 5 total reviews, but only 2 of them were recent, and the one was mean.
Yeah, super mean. So you won the book.
Yeah.
Not.
But congrats, Queen Jess.
Yes, congratulations.
You win the book.
So we will hit you up on Discord.
It's child appropriate. We're sure your kids will love it.
Definitely. If not, I'm sure you'll love it.
For just a review wow, I am so articulate today. Just to
Word.
my brain is fried. It's a shit itself.
What word are you looking for?
I don't know.
Just to elaborate, just to recuperate,
Just to bring it back so that everybody knows what we're even talking about. We've been running a giveaway contest based on if we receive reviews or not from when we had our guest Carlin Betcha on the show. And we were giving her away her book, Monstrous, the lore and gore and science behind your favorite monsters.
Yes.
And Queen Jess wins.
It was a very good read.
Actually, it was amazing book.
Yeah, it had...
I'm a grown man, and I read that book. It was great.
It had science experiments in there for
Nobody can
you
articulate
to shut your face. If I could see it, you're ninja. The science experiments in it that were fun, I'd actually wanted to do as a full-grown adult, and lore and other stuff. It felt like it was a lot easier for us covering certain things, and we actually did kind of incorporate talking about real live things. I like that aspect that we happen to take for the show.
But that's enough housekeeping.
Yes.
Also, we know we're not answering Homeboy's question. That's because we don't have it yet.
Oh, if he gives it to us, yeah.
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 Well, we don't have it at the time we're recording this episode, we have not received said question yet. So we'll look forward to that in the future.
Yes, but this will also, speaking about questions, it will be answering the question that we've been throwing out for trash or whatever. What was it called? Something?
Oh, trash or truth or trash?
Truth or trash? Truth or trash Thursdays. Yep. Boop.
We're going to be starting that.
Oh.
So basically how that's going to work, guys, is on Thursday, which is the
That's trash.
Yeah.
Oh, God, Jesus.
the day after we upload. So we upload on Wednesdays, and so Thursday, if you follow us on Twitter, there's going to be, and Facebook, We'll post it in both spots. It's going to be a cryptid fact, and you will see it on the top. It'll say truth or trash.
Yes.
We'd like to start conversations about it. How the game works is the fact is either going to be true or it'll be false, and we want you guys to try to figure it out. And then the next upload, so we'll put it out on Thursday, and then as of the next upload, we will tell you whether it is true or not.
Yes. Whether that's telling you through the actual Facebook or Twitter, or actually discussing it on the show would depend on how the recordings go.
Yeah, and these are not going to be easy. You're not going to look at this. Well, maybe some of you are. Some of you real cryptid fiends out there. Maybe you'll see them and be like, I know this one. Got this. But the goal is to not make these easy.
Yeah, like Bigfoot happens to find a Twitter page and he's like, that's not true about myself. And then he types it up and we're like, damn.
Right?
Yeah.
Believe in yourself, even when
Yeah.
nobody else does.
Sasquatch 101, man. Yeah.
Yep.
That's why I feel I want to be Sasquatch someday, man.
Anyway, we're looking forward to playing with you guys. It'll be fun.
Yeah. Well, hey, Chris Hansen, knock on your door. Have a seat right there. We're not talking about that playing with you.
And I'll tell you what, if you pop into the Discord server, which is the Cast Junkie Discord server, you can find a link to that pinned to the top of our Twitter, which is @BaronlandStew.
Yep.
If you pop into the channel by, say, Saturday, we will provide a hint at request.
What the following Saturday? Why not Sundays?
Okay, by Sunday.
Yeah.
By Sunday, pop in and we will provide you a hint if you need so.
Yeah, that gives us time to respond if something.
Yeah, maybe it'll be like a hint directly towards the answer. Maybe it'll be a hint of where maybe you can find some information.
Or a picture. Or
Of my feet.
Or it will be not even a hint because we'll be just messing with you. You'll never know.
We'll add a tier to Patreon. You can buy pictures of CJ's feet. That's not actually going to happen.
That might blow up. We might make a lot of money on that.
Tons of money.
Dude, you have seen my feet, bro.
I play footsie.
It doesn't matter if they look good or not, man.
I almost got casted as Bilbo.
I got footsie fetish right over here.
Ooh, my feet are gross. Anyway.
Yeah, especially when I kick them.
Anyway, I think it's pretty safe to assume that the thing that's currently running around downstairs is not Dogman.
Really?
Yeah, because Dogman doesn't kick doors in.
Yeah, it's true. He's very docile. Plus, it's not a year that ends in 7, so we're kind of cool.
Right.
That is good, yeah.
Right. That's a good point.
Yeah.
There's only one thing left that this could be. And I'm horrified.
I didn't have to tell you guys. My ex-girlfriend came into town.
The Groot slang? Oh, wait, that was mine.
You can't. I don't date the same girls you date, man.
You're lucky.
Yeah. Although this one,
CJ has made some mistakes.
yeah. Well, we all do, except for
Everybody's got that one person that they never want to talk about.
I don't really remember. Like,
I think after we're done recording this episode, I'll go announce the thing in the Discord for Queen Jess winning, and then watch everybody be like, what?
yeah,
She'll be like, I didn't enter a contest. I'm like, yes, you did.
yeah, you did, buddy. Oh no,
By accident, and you won. So there you go.
my notes are chopped off.
Oh, no.
Notes. Das notes. All right, well, whatever. We'll get on to it. So you said this thing downstairs is not my girlfriend and not the thing. So what is it?
Werewolf?
What?
Definitely is a werewolf. It's got to be a werewolf.
I can see it. And the claw marks were kind of big on the side of the house.
What?
Lore and mythology.
You know, I think of all like the real monster movie legends, short of vampires, I think werewolves have got to be the second most common.
Yes.
I think the top 3 is like werewolves, vampires, and mummies.
Zombies.
Yeah, a lot of people think that the first one was Wolf of London.
Wolf of London? The movie Wolf of London?
No, there's a book, or is it The Wolf of the Tower?
Oh,
London
okay,
or something
okay,
like
okay.
that. Which starred a werewolf. obviously.
When was that?
A long fucking time ago, and I have too many notes.
Oh, okay.
So anyway, the first real legend of a werewolf actually comes from ancient Greece, ancient Greek mythology. It's the legend of Lycaon. Lycaon, I think is how you say his name.
Yeah.
And anyway, he was the son of Pelasgus, and he pissed off Zeus, and Zeus acted real petty. Shocker.
Yeah, it's Zeus.
That's just Greek gods in general.
No, it's Zeus.
Yeah. Well, what Zeus did was he served him a meal that was the remains of a sacrificed boy, which cursed him and his into becoming wolves. Which is obviously where we get the term lycanthropy from. Which is an actual thing.
Yes.
Lycanthropy. It's like a disease.
Yeah.
Makes you sensitive to light, and we actually went over that in the Rougarou, I believe.
Yes.
Episode. And actually, Andrew, since you actually covered what that was, how about you refresh the memory of what lycanthropy is?
So with lycanthropy, you grow your hair and your nails grow. It's a physical imbalance in your brain, mostly in your cerebral cortex, that affects your perception of your body. So you actually think that you are a werewolf because your hair and nails are growing. The one that you were talking about, though, was the Bray Beast one, where it was the Florgrandia, where your nails and teeth are reddened, but you also get phobia, where a person cannot be out in the daylight because the daylight hurts them, so they become nocturnal. But there's also the
Trichosis?
Yeah, which is the werewolf syndrome, which is a thing where your whole body gets covered in hair. Which there are people like that. There was also like a famous prince that made a guy.
He was a nobleman.
Yeah, he made a guy, and he made him into a nobleman, and all the hot ladies of the time were like, "Ooh, so unique, hairy guy,
extra fuzzy."
Yeah,
he was the real teddy bear.
You're my dog, but with a man.
Nowadays, everybody wants you to shave everything, including your toe knuckles.
Well, I mean, the toe knuckles should not have hair, Mr. Hobbit.
There's werewolves in early Norse folklore. That's the saga of the Volsungs. It's a father-son pair.
Yeah.
They find wolf pelts, and these pelts have these magical abilities. And these abilities, when you wear the pelts, turn you into a wolf for 10 days. So they put these pelts on, and then they go off and fucking ruin lots of people's afternoons.
Yes.
Afternoons, nights, mornings.
Oh yeah, dude. They ruin everything. They
Pillage
kill
and
lots of people.
plunder.
I mean, that's what a werewolf. I feel that if you're a human with wolf.
Well, what caused them to stop? The father actually attacked the son.
Oh.
And grievously wounded him, like lethally.
Yeah. Okay.
So he had this grievous wound, and the King Raven gave the father a leaf with healing powers.
Oh, okay.
The son survived, but that was kind of the end of that situation.
Was it wolfsbane or something?
Not specific.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. But there are actually a bunch of famous werewolf stories. Back from 1521, Pierre Burgot. Michel Verdun swore allegiance to the devil. And then they had an ointment that would turn them into wolves, and they ran around beating people up.
Oh, damn.
Yep.
Just gotta rub it in nice and deep, like.
This is also the origin of where they believe burning would kill werewolves.
Oh, because part witch and whatever. Yeah.
It puts the lotion on it.
There was the werewolf of Dole. He killed a bunch of kids. Then there's the Bedburg werewolf, and that takes place in the 15th century with a farmer.
Yes, I will discuss him a little bit more.
Yeah.
Bedbug werewolf. That's gotta be bad.
So there's also a correlation with another cryptid that we haven't spoken of that can also be related to the werewolf, and that is the generic shapeshifter.
Yes.
Brief overview of shapeshifters. They possess the ability to turn into various animals and on occasion different types of people. In danger of treading on Andrew's territory a little bit, Mystique would have been considered a shapeshifter.
Yeah. There was also another X-Men that was like that was able to change.
Right.
Because Mystique just changes her ability, but there was another guy that was also able to change and then get the mutant's power.
And then in a traditional fantasy type genres,
Yeah.
the shapeshifters turn just into other animals.
Yeah.
And there is a school of thought where, unlike the common thing where werewolves must change under the full moon, that they actually possess the ability to change at will, which appears in other forms of media, which we will be discussing later on.
Yeah.
So basically, with werewolves, we're going to pretend like you guys know nothing about it. Please don't feel insulted by that. But so the idea of a werewolf is you are bitten by a wolf or werewolf, and you contract a sort of disease or this like passed on curse where you transform under the full moon into a giant werewolf monster. And size ranges depend on what myth, legend, or movie, video game, whatever you're playing.
Yeah.
Where sometimes the werewolves are the same size as the person, where they just kind of get furry and possibly a little muscular. We would see that in the movie The Wolfman.
Yeah.
That particular change. And then we have other ones where they get to be like 8, 9, 10 feet tall and super jacked, crazy ripped, and they're just these huge beasts. There are stories where they have no control of themselves. They're just animals, and they run through and they rip up everything,
Yep.
killing anybody.
Mostly the trends are once you change, your strength and agility increase.
Yeah, and in that poise, if you become a werewolf, it's because you survived an attack by accident.
Yeah.
Like they're not aiming to leave you alive. Then there's the other school of thought where the werewolf changes at will and maintains, or maybe under the full moon. I haven't read any specific stories about that. I don't want to disregard it as not having been out there, but maintains a sentience, not necessarily a humanity, although at times they do. Certainly certain sparkly vampires befriend those ones that maintain their humanity.
Those were there were more wolf people because they turn into wolves. They don't turn into werewolves.
Yeah, well, I'm getting there.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
And they act decisively and intelligently with thought, and can make the decision to transform you into a werewolf. And then besides those are the two big descriptions. We do see at times where the werewolf transforms from human into just a very large wolf. Like we kind of brought it up right there for a moment.
A really
and
bad movie.
That's gonna, yeah, I mean, but that's honestly like that wasn't their creation. Like they didn't come up with that concept of a werewolf.
Oh, I know.
I mean, shit. Probably the very first time I ever saw that concept was Diablo when I was a kid.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Diablo
so,
2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, we're going back, and then it goes back even further than that. It's not the traditional monster movie werewolf or the type of werewolf you'd hear around the campfire when you're telling your kids ghost stories, but that does exist as a description.
Yeah, I've seen werewolves from. My mother loves the genre. She used to watch all the old movies, whether it's Bram Stoker's Dracula or the old like Wolfmans and whatnot.
Right. Real common. People think that they have a high allergy to silver, and also with the stories that comes in varying degrees.
Mm-hmm.
There are stories where it's an instant death, and then there's the stories where if it hits a vital organ, it's an instant death, and then there's stories where it's a slow poisoning.
Slow poison or just a minor irritation that pisses them off.
Yeah. Then there's other stories where you can't really use a bullet; it has to be a blade. Those are more fantasy rather than traditional. Where you would have either like a crossbow bolt or an actual bullet. tipped in silver. Further description, sometimes they have red eyes that glow, sometimes yellow. I've seen orange.
Yeah.
In some mythologies, they have like elder werewolves, and those ones, those eyes glow white. Kind of like how sometimes you hear of like the elder vampires or whatever.
Yeah,
They have like, there are some places where they have elder werewolves.
Yeah, I found a small thing of multiple ways of becoming a werewolf that I thought were hilarious.
Oh, dude, yeah, like you can get cursed by a witch, you can get bit by a werewolf. Well, the two are bit by a werewolf or bit by a wolf that's infected.
Yeah.
But you
the
can
curse is semi-regular too, but I saw some really outlandish things.
hit me with it.
Drinking water out of a wolf's track. I thought that was weird. Footprint, yeah.
Footprint, yeah.
I thought that was weird.
Pre-plastic, where do we get straws to do that?
Yeah.
Well, it rained, it filled up, it just go down, suck it out.
What native Indians did was they would chop off the penis. I'm just joking.
So
That was the cannibals, man.
And I looked Andrew dead in the face, like I can't, like I believed him for a moment. I was like,
yeah,
That was a joke in elementary school. It's like, what did cannibals use as a straw?
no. What the hell elementary school did you go to?
up.
Yeah, messed up one apparently. Yeah.
All right. Anyway.
Look, and then we would be saying that as we be using Twizzlers as straws, and be like, these Twizzlers suck as straws. It's like, I wonder what else would be a good straw. And someone would be like, dude, did you know cannibals? Blah blah blah. Be like, oh, I didn't.
Yo,
know that.
little kids are the best place ever to get lore and mythology from. And they're so good at creating it on the spot too.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, definitely.
I'm like, all right, listen, little kid, I
my
need
God.
a story about this, and I'd be like, well, there was one time when I was over here and I saw this with Sally and this thing here, and then you were like, wow, that's an amazing story.
I will definitely hark into a commercial that I will put up when this thing goes. Of a little girl talking about AT&T. I'll get to that when we get into that.
All right.
So next one, drink downstream on a river as a wolf drinks ahead of you. That was another one.
Okay, so you're getting like the backwash. So it's like backwash and like,
I guess same thing as getting bit, saliva.
yeah.
But let's see, it was sleep under the full moon's light. So if you're just camping, you sleep under the full moon's light. Werewolf.
Yeah. What?
Kinda-
That one's weird.
That was it. That was a weird one.
We should try that.
I'm gonna take a Gatorade.
I mean, we'll go camping. I don't mind. I'll have fun
I'm
with
gonna give a Gatorade to like a werewolf and then be like, "Yo, bro, quit hogging it."
that. And
I'm like, drink.
totally.
I'm a werewolf now.
Let's see. There was also the curse of a magical being put under a spell. Now, this one was interesting because this has to do with the Indian way of thinking. Be born the seventh son of an Indian family.
Wait,
So if you're born the seventh son, you're screwed. Automatic werewolf.
damn.
I don't feel like. I mean, if I had to pick between being a vampire or a werewolf, I'm going with werewolf, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
What about you guys? Vampire or werewolf, if you had to be one?
Do you
I would be a werewolf.
you hear something?
Yeah, it's definitely in the house.
Yeah.
Is
Well, all right.
is
well,
the
whatever.
receptionist talking to it?
I don't know.
You know what? We'll get back to that.
A werewolf and a werewolf or vampire. I think you would. I feel like I would still want to see the sun, so I guess I'd be a werewolf.
Right?
Yeah, because like, well, depending on how controlled you are.
Right. So, okay. Well, abilities. They run dumb fast,
Yeah,
upright or on all fours.
they got dummy thick booties,
Yeah, they thick boys.
thick boys,
Thick
man.
boys.
So if you got a badonkadonk and you get bit by a werewolf,
It gets better.
it gets badonkadonk.
Yeah. They got super sharp claws and crazy bites. They can shred large animals in moments. Not even seconds, just moments.
Yeah.
On top of that, they come in various colors. You have brown. There's black in horror movies.
There's also dark brown
Yeah, dark brown,
and light brown,
dookie brown.
and also gray brown.
Like a bluish gray
Mhm.
at times, a bluish black, White.
Bluish brown.
White. I have seen them in white, which I'm
Yeah.
sure we'll talk about.
Yeah. Gray.
What I have not seen, spot.
Oh, spotted.
How dope would that be? Like, it's a big scary movie. Like, it's the big monster reveal moment of the movie, and it's a fucking big old black werewolf with a white spot right here in his eye, and like one on his ear, and he's just like, "Arr!" I'm like,
His
I
paws
wanna,
got to look like socks too.
right? Like, I want to pet it.
Or it looks like a panda bear, and you're just like, I don't understand.
Panda.
Or it looks like a killer whale. It's
Call it
like,
panda,
which
not
one
even
is your
badger.
eyes? I can't tell. Is it that
What'd
went
you
up your hole?
Oh, I just adjusted my seat and sat on my nut. Oh,
Wow. All right.
That's great.
Speaking about nuts,
oh God, why? Wwhy me? Always
It's a
me.
bit warm in this room. They're hanging a little lower than usual.
Oh, shit. That fucking hurt. Anyway, I really can't go any further without stepping on your guys' toes.
stepping on my nuts.
I sat on my own just now. Fuck, man. Anyway,
Do I need to give you guys some time?
no, what we need to do is move into the next section.
Hidden in plain sight.
So you mentioned it, how little kids have that active imagination. There's actually a commercial for AT&T where they were talking about what would you rather have, fast or slow service? And the one kid's like, I think I would want fast service, because then if you had slow service and you got bit by a werewolf, then you would just be like, oh, this can't handle how fast I go as a werewolf. And then I just go, "Ah, woo, 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 woo." And that's werewolf for I can't handle this slow service. And I'm just like, what? Like, little kid is like thinking, is like, oh yeah, if I become a werewolf, I'd totally be worried about
Dude,
how
kids-
fast my internet service would be.
Kids, they can make that shit up on the spot.
Yeah.
They probably didn't even script that kid.
No,
Oh no, they just say like, just go with it.
Yeah. There was another commercial where it was a mom and dad werewolf at a parent-teacher conference, and the baby werewolf, I guess, or kid werewolf drew a picture, and it said, "Daddy" with DirecTV, and it's like, oh, there's a very good picture. It's like, I like how they did the post-it notes. It's like, no, I had to hide the drawing behind the post-it notes, so they left out the post-it notes, and it's like, I don't use that kind of language. It's like. But DirecTV does suck. And then it's like a ad for Spectrum or something like that.
That's funny.
Yeah. There was Cookie Layer Crunch, which is like a crunch bar, but it has like different things in it. So there's like mint in it now, and like caramel, other things like that's where you get the layers. So it's like cookie crunch, and then whatever the third layer is just a guy like, some people are layers. Some people have hair of layers, which is a beard. Some people have hair layers on that, and then the guy turns into a werewolf with a beard. I'm just like, all right.
So wait. What you're trying to say is werewolves are bearded.
Yes.
It's about time we got another
Get
beard.
back to our roots.
Back to the roots.
Does it have a beard?
And Indian-esque.
And it does. It has a beard.
Yep.
There you go.
Back in the day, there was a monster cereal, which I think the only one surviving is Count Chocula.
No, it's Frankenberry. too.
Frankenberry,
And Blueberry.
Blueberry,
Yeah.
and then the one that got canned out was Fruit Brute. Fruit Brute was a kind of Trix-esque thing,
I vaguely remember
and
that.
he was a werewolf. He was the werewolf of that. But unfortunately, that one got like canceled. I don't know why. I guess it was too close. There was another one where a werewolf man comes in all hungry for eating, and some guy hands him like a can of Chef Boyardee, and he eats the Chef Boyardee and then turns back into a human. So Chef Boyardee is able to satisfy the hunger of a werewolf.
They were trying to keep up with Snickers.
Yeah, probably.
Sounds like it.
You have what I think we're gonna go in with the one of my favorite book series called Fable, which is just taking the old Fable stories, but like they live in a town, so like they become I've described it before, but like,
yeah, just if any of you guys out there are wondering, if you're like me and you watch the series Grimm deliberately ripped this series off.
yeah. Once Upon a Time also did it, but they took like Snow White and like other stuff like that rather than this. So you have a guy from there that is in the comic world. He is called, or he's the big bad wolf, right? So, in this version, he's called Big B Wolf. Big BY Wolf. Yeah. Which is funny as shit. But he can turn into a wolf, and he's kind of like a undercover investigator or cop. There's a video game called The Wolf Among Us, where you play as him. And he does battle in that game Wendigo. But like you do run into other cryptids, other things like that. But he's able to change into a werewolf. But he has like a very wolf-looking face.
What kind of video games do we have out there starring werewolves? Because I've been a gamer a long, long time, and short of,
You said starring werewolves?
Starring werewolves.
yeah,
Um,
I mean there was
All right, I got you.
there's Diablo 2, and then there's it was a Sega game. It was originally an arcade game,
Altered Beast.
Alter Beast.
Altered Beast. There we
Yes.
are.
Yep. Altered Beast, one of your forms of after you powered up is a werewolf. The other one, I forget what the other
Bear.
guy, bear.
There was a
Yeah.
couple of forms.
Yeah,
in
there
that
was a
game.
number of forms. It was a
Yeah.
really, really good
It was-
game.
It was like one per level, wasn't it?
Uh,
was like
It,
five
it
separate-
depended on the level you were in, and
Yeah.
sometimes you got to use two of them.
Okay.
And I loved that game.
That was such a fun game. I think I have it on my Game Boy.
Short of I mean, there's a thing about side scrollers is they're all pretty much the same game reskinned.
Mm-hmm.
But Altered Beast was a blast, and I loved that game.
Yeah, it was really fun.
But yeah, those are the only two video games just offhand that I can think of that we got werewolves in.
So there is
What is the main
Blazing Blue
character?
is a new game. Oh, well, I'm just going to list the games.
Oh, yeah, let's go for it.
Blazing Blue is a fighter. Rachel's badass battle butler is a werewolf. Then you have Darkstalkers. Darkstalker is one of the main guys. He plays like Guile. There's a werewolf that plays like where you have to charge down and then hit up and then charge back and hit forward to do his moves.
Gotcha.
Bloodborne, one of the first bosses in there, Father Gascoigne. He was initially a hunter. Before you even get into the city, like this is one of the first things that you do. You battle this guy, and this is like you'll find out hunters of the people, the corruption. Eventually, if you are a slayer of corruption, you give in to the corruption, regardless of how noble or just you are. So you are effectively killing the prior hunter.
Was there just a traditional 2D fighting game back in the day where it was monsters? It was like there was like a raptor, and then there was like
There was
a
Rampage.
was that no? Because Rampage wasn't Rampage when they like knocked over buildings and stuff.
Rampage is a werewolf, and it's a lizard, King Kong, and or werewolf.
Yeah, but I'm talking about there's a fighting game.
Yeah,
You each pick a character.
yeah, Primal
there's-
Rage.
Yes.
Primal Rage.
Yes!
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
Is there a werewolf in that one?
I think there's a wolf. These are like gods because they're creatures. Because there's like a King Kong and other stuff. Are you talking?
No, you're definitely talking about Primal Rage.
Okay.
Definitely talking about that because
Yeah.
that was a quality.
And it had
That-
like T-Rex in it.
The very first fighting game I ever played was boxing for Atari, but that doesn't count. Was Mortal Kombat, and then briefly after that, I actually acquired Primal Rage,
Okay.
and I used to play that game.
Yeah, there was a
time.
wolf one for that.
It was amazing. I
Yeah.
loved that game.
One of my favorite fighting games was called Bloody Roar. Bloody Roar was 2D, 2D, 3D because it was an arena, so you moved yourself around.
Right.
And you had the ability, all characters had the ability to transform into a creature. So you had tigers, bugs, wolves, phoenixes, like kitty cats, everything.
Okay.
Yeah. So they
that actually sounds kind of fun.
Yeah, one of my favorite was the were-tiger and the werewolf in that version. Castlevania, they do have werewolves, but there is actually in one of them a playable werewolf. So Castlevania Legacy of Darkness was a N64 version, I think, where you had the ability to choose 3 characters. And one of the characters was a man beast named Cornell, which was just basically a werewolf. So he had the ability to control himself. He was not dictated to the moon, and he was able to transform. So instead of just doing the traditional whip wielding or sword wielding for Castlevania, you were actually able to go as like a werewolf, which it had its own separate story for him compared to like the other characters, which was unique. Most of the time, Castlevania was just the person, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there were shapeshifters, but the shapeshifters of Castlevania were vampires, because Alucard, which was Dracula's son, he was able to turn into a wolf and mist and a bat, but he was a vampire. So that was the whole shapeshifting. Their old original Shining Force, which was an RPG where you recruited members, and there was a crap load of members you could get.
I have the Sega Genesis cartridge for that.
Yes, there was a werewolf.
Wait, did I give that to you? I think I gave that to you. Shining Force.
Maybe.
I think I gave that to you because I bought a box of shit at a yard sale, and it was just in there with a Sega controller. I think I gave that to you.
Maybe I'd have to look.
Yeah, there was a guy named Zulo, Zylo, Zylo, Zylo.
It was like Kylo.
Yeah, Zylo, which he was a playable race. In that race, it was weird because in the original Shining Force, you had multiple like humans and like other creatures, like bird creatures, lizard creatures, but they weren't like cursed. They were just like there. So this is like a wolf person. There's a person that turned into a wolf, and like he was pretty like badass in that sense. Skyrim, Elder Scrolls. One of the peoples that you can initially join is called the Companions, which is kind of like the fighter guild. When you join the fighter guild, you find out that they all happen to be werewolves, every single one. And for you to completely join the thing, they force you to become a werewolf. So you become a werewolf. And
Is that like a bad thing in that game?
Nope. You're just infected as a werewolf, and you get werewolf powers.
You turn into a werewolf, and you have like strength, speed, and if you level up the tree, the ability tree, you can like per kill, you could extend the duration, and it was pretty fun to play as.
Yeah. In that game, you were also able to become a vampire with the expansion.
That got you in trouble.
Yes, because then people were like, yeah, we clearly know you're a vampire, so we're going to attack you on sight.
Oh, actually, that was only if you didn't feed. The longer you went without feeding, the more obvious it was that you were.
Yeah.
So if you kept feeding regularly, it wasn't. People kind of like insinuated it, but if you didn't eat for like a day or two, people would be like, "Oh, you're obviously a vampire," and then people start trying to kill you.
Yep. Oh, okay. So World of Warcraft.
They just have everything.
World of Warcraft, there is an expansion where they brought in a new playable race for Alliance. Was it Cataclysm? But they brought in goblins for Horde, and Alliance got the Kilnassus people. And the Kilnassus people were a bunch of people that were kind of part of the Alliance, but they're like, look, we don't want to fight in your war anymore. And they built this giant wall, and they hid behind the wall. And they're like, started having civil war amongst each other, because they're like, let's go back to the Alliance. Clearly, we're going to be screwed if the Horde comes and takes us out or something. But like a bunch of druids decided, let me unleash these worgans, which are kind of werewolf-esque, and they started biting people and turned the whole town into werewolves. So that whole nation is pretty much werewolves. And as that playable class, you have the ability to change yourself into a werewolf. I thought it was funny that they all just was like, yeah, it's just suffering from Civil War, changing into a werewolf in that sense. Yeah, Darksiders. What his name was John Talbane, is what I couldn't remember his freaking name. Diablo 2, as we mentioned, druids had 2 skill trees where they could turn either into, or it's the same skill tree, but you could change into a werebear or werewolf. Bear was more tankier and had like fire elemental to him, where the werewolf was more aggressive, multiple hit attack in that sense. And then like a lot of games have werewolves as like things that you battle, because it's a pretty staple like thing I'm gonna mess up, right? Or
I've actually Order 1886 is a pretty good game for werewolves. I think it was a little too short, but it was a pretty good game.
oh yeah, that was the main complaint for that game. Like it was way too short. I don't
The
even know if that was-
storyline was really good. The graphics were amazing.
Yeah.
The weapons were awesome.
but they didn't give it time for you to invest.
They should
in.
have added more into it. It
Yeah.
should have been such a better game.
Fire Emblem, they have town villages that that whole game is built around the rock paper scissor thing, where you have swords, axes, and spears. Spears can kill the crap out of swords. Swords can kill the crap out of axes. Axes can kill the crap out of spears. So you're basically, if you go into a fight, you want to use the ones. But they have then magic users, archers, and creatures. The ones they have to assume their soul. Like, so I can assume the soul of a creature in like battle. So you have like dragons.
Oh, were dragon? Goddamn.
Yeah, werewolves. What the hell?
I would never ever want to encounter a were-dragon.
Yeah,
Can I make a character in Shadowrun for that? I want to be a were dragon.
that would be too OP. Way too OP, man.
They exist in Shadowrun already.
A were dragon?
Oh wait, did you talk about, was it Killer Instinct, the game that you played?
No.
Killer Instinct
That had
was
a
a game,
Velociraptor.
But
that
I loved Killer Instinct. Yeah,
that had Saberwolf.
Saberwolf
Yeah.
was great.
Okay.
Killer Instinct was dope. I was played as Glacius.
Yeah, Glacius. I was the green girl with the
Combo breaker.
yeah. League of Legends, which is like still a game that people play.
Warwick,
Yeah.
my very first jungler.
Oh, you played them? Okay.
Yeah, Tank Wick, an AP Wick back in the day. I started playing League of Legends 2-3 days after they released Nocturne.
Okay.
And there were only like a handful of characters, only 12, 13 characters. I quit playing. First of all, League of Legends is the most expensive free-to-play game I've ever played in my life.
Mhm.
I have so many skins, so many thousands of dollars dumped into that game. It's embarrassing. But it also, video games are supposed to help you relax and enjoy your life.
No.
League of Legends inspires the most inhuman amount of rage.
People were toxic.
You
as
were
crap.
home the day
Yeah.
I put my fist through the monitor.
Wow. Nice.
My fist, I had 2 monitors set up, and I got so mad at that game, my fist went through the one monitor on the right and came right out the back.
I'm glad to see you're still
Yeah.
survived.
I would hear him
survived the
yell.
punch.
Actually, I would hear both you and Carrie yell and scream about that damn game.
Oh, God, yeah.
You guys would be arguing yourselves, your separate game. You were going on all day.
I played that game for 6 years, and when the heart palpitations started, I went, I'm done. I can't.
Oh, damn.
I can't do this
well,
anymore.
I used to go to work in the morning, come back in the night. He'd be in the same exact spot I left him in, and
Oh, yeah, League of Legends. Yeah.
Yeah.
On days that I had off of work, there'd be like 12-hour binges on that game.
You had to
Yeah.
like get this stuff. Like you had the tiers
yeah.
and everything. Like it wasn't like other Dota games like that.
I'm willing to bet my account I could sell it for pretty decent.
Yeah.
I hang on to it just because I dumped so much money into that game. I don't want to get rid of the account.
Well, you probably
Yeah.
have legacy skins that you can't
Oh,
get
yeah.
anymore or stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
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 he bought all the skins.
So There was a Legend of Zelda, Twilight Princess. Link was able to transform into a werewolf. Like some of these are more.
It's such a common thing.
Yeah, like I don't want to go. I want to move into other subjects, but like I'll just say Sonic Unleashed. Sonic became a what was called a werehog.
I remember that.
Yeah. Where he became there was Terraria, where you had a werewolf charm that you can attain from werewolves, transforming you into a werewolf. Honestly, like World of Warcraft had a great story with that. There was actually a handwritten book and that whole thing I talked about. So I don't want to make sure, like, it might have been like some things I messed up or something, but one of my favorite characters from that game is one of the werewolves there. His name is Greymane. And he's actually in a Dota, if anybody plays, called Heroes of the Storm, which is just the Blizzard taking all their properties and putting it into like a Defender of Ancients game setup where you could have Diablo versus World of Warcraft
Wait,
characters.
I thought they shut that game down.
No, it's still going.
Oh, because I had beta in that game.
I
I used to play.
Yeah, you can still play it.
That game was.
It's still free to play. They rotate heroes.
It was not a bad game. The reason I stopped playing was because it became painfully obvious unless I gave them money, I wasn't keeping up with the other players.
Well, this one, they rotate heroes, so if you want to play your specific hero, you need to purchase it.
Yeah, so it's like Smite.
Yeah. So like,
Except Smite gives you a God Pack offering.
yeah, so you can purchase all.
You make
future.
a one-time payment,
Yeah.
you get everything. So it's like, well, you can play for free, but if you buy the game for $20,
Yeah, then
you own the game, you get everything.
then it's boopters, and you get the boops. So we normally don't talk about this. This is one of the bigger subjects that is out in the podcast world, which is serial killers. We have a serial killer that was a werewolf.
All right.
Which was what you mentioned, the Werewolf of Bedburg.
We're going to tell that story.
Yes.
Can we...
Do you want to tell it in lore?
I don't want to tell the story,
Okay.
but can we paraphrase because we are at 50 minutes?
Oh, okay. You know what, guys? I am going to tell you that this thing is something that I will do as a little nice side feat. So if you do want to see this, it will be a little side episode.
He'll do a table read for you,
Yes.
and that'll be included with our Patreon subscribers.
Yes. So you will get to hear about Peter Stump, the Werewolf of Bedburg. And we'll have just a quick read and a reaction amongst each other for it. So going into, let's finish up the general stuff. So I wanted to mention this because it made me laugh. Comic books, werewolves been everywhere, but like one of my favorite stories was one about Captain America. Captain America, he visits a town basically that was attacked by a person named Nightshade, right? Yeah, Nightshade. So the whole town is werewolves, and Captain America had to fight him off. Eventually, he gets bit, and he becomes a werewolf, and they start calling him Capwolf in the series because he's Captain Werewolf. So eventually, he gets to Nightshade, gets a cure, and motivates her to cure the problem, and basically like fix this whole town. But it's so weird because it was back in the Silver Age, and Silver Age of comics is like 80s. 90s is Golden Age, right? But it's just such an odd timeline in that. Notable werewolf movies, Underworld. What's the one with the guy from Back to the Future? Do you know the werewolf movie where it's like teenage werewolf, high school werewolf?
That sounds familiar.
I can't remember.
Are you talking about Teen Wolf?
Teen Wolf, yeah, thank
okay,
you.
yeah.
I was trying to debate, like, is it Teen Wolf or Big Wolf on Campus? Which one is
Yeah.
It's one of the
They redid that series.
Yeah, and it's actually pretty good.
It's fantastic.
There was a professional wrestler, Justin Gabriel. One of his Red Barons is the Cape Town Werewolf, and they howl before their match. You have Werewolf in London. I don't even know if we mentioned that. Again, one of my favorite ones was Dog Soldiers.
Actually, which one was the one with Eddie Murphy?
Eddie Murphy. Jack Nicholson was in one called The Wolf, where he's just like a guy that is like a uptown guy and just becomes a werewolf and like starts like picking on people. It's really good.
Uptown funk you up.
Yeah. Company is the Werewolves. Just one called Werewolf. Lady Hawk, Alvin and the Chipmunks meet the Werewolf Man. Dog Soldiers, I mentioned. Silver Bullet. I think I mentioned Silver Bullet. That was the one with the wheelchair kid. Van Helsing did that. Ginger Snaps, about two girls that
Wow, I forgot about that movie.
Ginger Snaps, yeah.
That movie was good.
Yeah.
Ginger Snap and Ginger Snaps Back.
Yep.
Was the sequel.
And then Wes Craven had one called Cursed. Then there's Bad Moon, Trick or Treat, which is a bunch of trick or treat horror things put all together. And one of them is about werewolf. Red Riding Hood, The Big Bad Wolf, Werewolf, The Beast Among Us, Werewolf of Washington, Wolfman, the original Wolfman, like if you can find it. Werewolves on Wheels, Bubba the Redneck Werewolf, Werewolf
That sounds
on
awesome.
Werewolves of the Third Reich, which if you don't know, there was a division called SS Werewolf that the Nazis had, where Nazis, Hitler was very crazy. He tried to get as much gains as he could for fighting the war, so he went to religious artifacts, the occult, anything supernatural, anything that would give him a leg up. So SS Werewolf would not be too far of a stretch. But yeah, you have a lot of people that do music. Bark at the Moon by Ozzy Osbourne. Metallica has Wolf and a Man. Frank Zappa did Zombie Wolf. I don't even know. There's like so many different things. Like I know I'm cutting into time for this, but the podcast, there's definitely been tons of whatever. D&D has werewolves. There was a whole Magic the Gathering section about werewolves.
I used to have a werewolf deck.
The Curse of Innistrad, where it's a whole plane where there's vampires as controlling wolves, and humans are like kind of like the feeding grounds that are barely put together as much as they can to survive all the zombies and werewolves and everything else on the outside. So it's just like a bad movies in that sense. But yeah.
Supernatural. Did you say Supernatural?
Supernatural definitely definitely touched werewolves. Yeah, I didn't go into that just because I'd have to mention all the other shows. The Johnny Quest, Adventure Time, Scooby-Doo, My Little Pony, the Smurfs, all had freaking balonies. Gargoyles had werewolves that they dealt with. Freakazoid. The Simpsons had a Treehouse of Horrors, with it. Buzz Lightyear, Star Command, Greydale High, which was kind of teenage zombie or teenage monsters that go to high school, and like one of them was a nerdy werewolf named Reggie Moonshroud. Codenames Kid Next Door, and Mary Shelley's Frankenhole.
So many.
Dogman, Tom and Jerry's, Toonsylvania, PJ Popeye, Hotel Transylvania. Oh,
I
that was a
like
good
that guy.
series.
That werewolf was awesome. The best one was his daughter.
Yeah, hell yeah. He had so many kids too.
And the
that-
daughter was the alpha too. It
Yeah.
was great.
Yep. And then she became like a goth in the third one or something.
I
like
that
how
one
you've
again.
intentionally left out thou which will not be named.
Oh no! Fuck! Yeah. How you feel about Lord of the Rings is how I feel about that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not a movie worth mentioning.
I think I hate Twilight way more than I hate Lord of the Rings.
Because like, how are you gonna be like, oh, I like you, but then you're gonna have a daughter, and your daughter's gonna become super old, and then I'm gonna like you then more because you're the spawn of the thing I originally liked.
I mean, I macked on one of our listeners on Twitter about it. He was like, he said, Lord of the Rings is the best fight scene in the whole world. And I was like, except for Breaking Dawn Part 2. That's how much I like that series.
Yeah.
But no, realistically, Twilight is
That wasn't even a fight. It was in their
Garbage.
damn head. It was in their head.
It was fantasy.
Ugh.
Garbage. That
Oh my
whole
God.
shit. Trash.
They were just wolf people. All right, whatever. Stats.
Yeah.
We'll go into stats.
Yeah.
So this thing is definitely a 7 for agility, strength, and it's like +1 to the human that gets bit. So if Usain Bolt gets bit,
Unless it's a Bruja.
yeah. If Usain Bolt gets hit, he's probably popping up to like
Which we didn't
And
even
a-
talk about the World of Darkness. There's a whole game series called Werewolf.
yeah.
And World of Darkness is a fantastic game. If you guys get the chance to play tabletop, if you're into that sort of thing, play Werewolf. It's great.
There's tons of board games. I don't like. I don't want to.
He will sit here all night.
Yeah, I will wholeheartedly. I didn't even get to talk about my boy, and I printed out sheets. Look, guys, sheets.
But it gives us content.
It gives us content.
Yeah.
So
You can
the
show it to the camera.
I did.
I have
That's
proof.
why I said sheets. I was like, look at these sheets. So the two people that watch our things, thank you, can see.
Yeah, there you go.
The Elf Lego fire. Where was I? Werewolf was
We
I?
did. You said that you're giving them strength, agility.
Okay. So if Usain Bolt gets bit, he's going up to an 8. He was a 7. Or he was a 6. He goes up
Yeah.
he goes higher.
Yeah.
So like a
Olympians are
bodybuilder,
6.
he's going up.
Let's go with the generic, just 5 across the board.
It's +1 to whatever. So if
Okay.
they're all naturally 5s,
it really?
if you get bit 5, then you become 6. If you're bet 6, you go up to 7. And I'm not going to say anything above 7. So max of 7.
Okay.
So like someone that's strong and healthy build, and they would be
This
able
is the
to-
most complicated stat assignment we've ever had in the
yeah.
show.
So we're gonna say 6 7.
I
Okay.
thought they were just supernaturally strong. Like they throw cars.
It's really relative to the wolf. There are werewolves stronger than other werewolves.
Yes.
Well, I know that, but
He ain't wrong.
I
Yeah.
thought even the weak ones are still pretty decent.
Yeah, they're stronger than your average.
Yeah, they
person.
can rip like. I've seen werewolves where like, oh, I can go through this wall, and then another werewolf's like, oh fuck, I just hit this wall.
We can't really
Yeah.
we can't really forget the fact that in almost every single story, a regular human goes toe to toe with a werewolf and sometimes comes out on top.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So I feel like his assessment's fair.
because Van Helsing is able to, and he battles like all them creatures. So you have agility and strength that unfortunately, or sorry, strength and agility. Yeah, charisma is gonna be. I don't know, because they sound like they still have their intelligence, so I'm gonna go with 5. Intelligence, I'll do that. Charisma, I'll give them a 4 because they're not like overly attractive.
Some of them can talk.
Yeah, that's why I said 5 for intelligence. Yeah, because they still comprehend and they can talk or whatever. I don't know if they're like talking like Frankenstein. Fire bad, you good.
No, they just talk.
Yeah. What's my 5th stat? Supernatural. I guess being able to transfer is pretty. Oh, they have healing factor too, though.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
extreme healing.
yeah.
factors.
So that is definitely a hard 4 or 5. I'm gonna go 4 because
That's got to be like the highest supernatural rating we've had.
because
no,
of healing-
Puck Wedgie,
yeah, because of casting spells and dragons. Because
Yeah.
the healing factor, being able to maintain or survive like most gunshots, other stuff like that, as long as there's not any If it is the fact that silver does affect them, or it does, if that's just like a
thing
where it's like Hollywood. Don't play footsies. I'm not playing footsies with two people now.
Yeah.
All right.
Don't be cheating on me over there.
Yeah. Where it's kind of like vampires with garlic. Like, is that real or not real? You don't know because it was a Hollywood blown up thing. That was definitely gonna smell like garlic. God damn. That was deeper than my voice.
You gotta stop farting in this fucking room.
Jesus.
We're gonna start.
Look, we don't have the.
We're gonna put you in a damn closet.
We do not have the fire for that thing. It doesn't work that way. Give it to me. I'm gonna put it under my nose. So take some sniffs.
Yeah, it smells
Yeah.
Oh man.
Oh man.
Oh boy. Anyway.
Gonna be silent.
Yeah, I've heard you every time.
That one is definitely going to be picked up on the microphones. But
CJ
yeah,
keeps
so
farting in the goddamn studio.
okay, intelligence, strength, charisma, dexterity, supernatural. That's our 5, right?
Yep.
All right. So I've done my talking, and CJ's done his farting. So segue into your not segue.
Attention! Combat training.
All right, so combat. These are going to be a little bit more difficult than the last ones that we were talking about, whether it be Dogman or Beast of Bray. These guys have been different heights from what I've seen, like 7, 8 feet, whatnot. I mean, give them about like 200 over 300 pounds worth of just solid muscle coming at you. Enhanced strength, speed, senses. They can smell you from God knows how far away. Which one of them, you probably have a werewolf dying because he smells you right now.
Listen, I've had a horrible stomachache all day, and I'm sorry you guys have to experience that. Okay.
Yes, and CJ farts and a werewolf dies. That's how we defend ourselves.
Just his ass claps.
Yes,
His ass claps werewolves.
I'm a thick boy.
Yeah.
Yeah. If he ever turned into a werewolf, we're effed. Because those booty cheeks would get bigger and those vibrations
Yo,
would...
there's nothing worse in the world than dog farts, especially pugs.
Yeah.
But so we're gonna say, be very careful with these. Their bite is strong. They'll definitely tear off a limb. Claws will just shred you in half.
Yeah.
Their overwhelming strength, they can not think twice about picking you up and throwing you.
I think they could probably outrun bullets too, so you might be...
I don't think they outrun bullets. They're not
or
that
like
fast.
dodge bullets, if anything.
They have quicker reflexes. They have a better chance.
Well,
of
humans
dodging.
can do that too.
They have a better chance of dodging it than you and I.
Yeah, definitely. But from what I found, most conventional weapons will actually hurt a werewolf. Like a lot of that silver bullet stuff only really happened in movies. Like that was all made up for movies. Like original werewolf tales, you can defeat them in a variety of
People
ways.
liked fire originally.
Fire, yes. I mean, fire kills just about everything. But
Kill it with fire.
That
exactly.
is a staple.
So fire, cutting off its head, doing enough damage to the body that the heal factor will be negligible. You can stick a grenade in it and have it blow up, I mean, that was a viable one you've seen from a movie. But you got to be fast. You got to keep your wits on this one. They'll actually... Hopefully the group, the pack is not behind them on this because you're not surviving that. One by itself, you have a chance. If you have multiple, you're screwed. I mean, CJ, you'd have to shoot it a whole bunch of times, destroy the brain.
50 BMG.
50 BMG.
You
You got to
don't...
go with the grizzly big boy that Bert has.
Yeah.
It'll shred through it like paper.
Ogre gun from Grimm.
Oh,
Okay, yeah.
all right. I thought you were going to do your shotgun thingy, the AA shotgun or whatever it's called.
AA-12?
Yeah.
No.
I kind of want that shotgun from the movie Predators that the guy had. The mercenary guy had, the automatic shotgun. That looked really awesome to have.
I want a shotgun with fire rounds. Dragon fire rounds.
Just talk to
Those
Celine.
are
she'll be
the
fine.
Dragon's Breath shotgun rounds are basically just like balls of I think it's magnesium.
Mm.
Yeah, and then they lights it up and flyers.
Yeah.
I mean, not to say it's not gonna hurt you. It doesn't really have much piercing, though.
No, but like if fire, it would light something on fire, right?
Actually, you know what?
Oh, sure. Yeah, you
Yeah.
could write slide. Yeah.
I'll go with what I said earlier. Order 1886. They had a gun that was basically it shot thermite. What you do is you would shoot the thermite. It was a 2-step gun, which you had to figure out how to use. You would shoot the thermite, powder everywhere, and then you would have to shoot the accelerant, and it would just ignite all the thermite in the area and just burn the crap out of everything. It was great.
Holy damn.
It is such a fun gun. I used it as much as I could.
All right. So we know what CJ's doing. I'll just throw a grenade.
Molotov is good too.
It would throw it back. It's sentient.
Cook it.
Oh, okay. What, like a little bit of grease or like
Yeah,
you
that's-
pan frying it?
Yeah,
You
totally.
throw it in the oven?
Yep.
Put it at 350?
Yeah.
There's a grenade
Okay.
launcher out now that you can set the distance or time limit that the grenade can go, and then it'll blow up. The military is used to shoot it over walls. They would set it for like if the wall was like 20 feet away, they would set it for 25, and it'll blow up over the wall and hit the people behind it.
Yeah. Because like most people don't realize grenades aren't really for blowing up like explosions. It's more shrapnel.
Yeah.
That's what a grenade's doing. It's
Unless you get a
taking that-
phosphorus grenade, those things are awesome.
Yeah, it's taking like the BBs or it's taking whatever the hell is in it and like spreading that out and like hitting a person with it. It's not built for like mini fire explosions.
Okay.
What do you mean?
Oh, is it okay?
Oh, I thought you were like
Yeah.
say like okay, that's what you thought.
No.
Oh,
I could make a makeshift pipe bomb.
Yeah. No,
There's shrapnel everywhere.
no.
That werewolf is not healing from that.
FBI that's listening currently, we're not trying to make any pipe bombs or anything.
Nah, Flechette's terrible anyway.
Yeah.
Trust me, when you got like specific like razor blades and nails and shit.
All right,
It's gonna piss
Mel
me off. It'll
Gibson,
be
you
fun.
can stop listening right now. Please, again, as normal, please document the time that you stopped. Send us email.
One day he's gonna hear something about this. Somebody's gonna tell him about it. He'll be like, "Why do they keep telling me to shut off the show?" And then he's gonna come and email us.
Dear Cryptid Technical, and I'll be like, guys, we made it. Mel Gibson. He told us at 5:52 he turned it off.
He should totally, if you hear this, tag us in a thing on Twitter or Facebook and tell us what time you shut this off.
Yeah.
Anyway, you guys believe in it?
Yeah. Oh no.
They're just going into battle with broom armor.
Yeah. What? I should do broom armor, you know?
One day we'll upgrade his broom armor. We'll give him the.
Mithril broom armor?
I was gonna say, just go with the witch's broom armor.
I don't feel comfortable in this room anymore. I'm gonna head down the steps that are conveniently right here.
Yeah, we need to figure out what that commotion is going on down there.
Yeah.
Why? Oh, you've got to be kidding me.
Oh, who's a good boy?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Oh, you're such a
What
good
the
boy.
fuck is
Oh,
that?
you stop biting my
That's
horn.
a receptionist talking
Oh, he's a good boy.
to the werewolf,
Aw,
which is in fact a werewolf.
mister. Yes, you is, my
And she's holding bacon
mister.
strips.
Yes, you are.
Where'd you get the
I
bacon
don't-
strips?
Down. I said stop
Well,
biting my horn.
That means her room's free, and I could totally get some snacks.
Um,
I'll be right back.
She's scratching it behind the ears.
Yeah, I'm gonna get some food quick.
What do we do?
Well, I mean, right now it's being docile.
We were just talking about killing it.
Hey, I'll
guys,
go get my sword.
guys, I got some snacks.
The unicorn.
And now it's
The
looking at
unicorn's pointing at you and whispering to the werewolf, and he's coming.
Oh shit! Ninja, here, hold these things.
Hey, get my sword out. Son of-
It's got him by the leg. It's got him by the leg.
When does a werewolf become an ankle biter? It's not a damn chihuahua.
Oh, she called it off. She called it off. Oh, you bleeding real good. We're gonna take this to HR.
How many days has it
After
been?
you stop bleeding, though. This is bad.
Oh, I'll start wrapping a tourniquet.
Yep. Let's get him over to the office. You guys know any cures for werewolf bites? At Barrenland Stew is our Twitter. You can reach us at cryptidtechnical@gmail.com. And you can find us on Discord and let us know how to fix Andrew, because this is going to be bad.
Oh,
How did it get in?
you're a stupid asshole.
I was... All right.
Yeah, we didn't fix that one yet.
Peace.